Father. Confessing our sins and repenting for my sins. And when we do a lot of these things, the Father's recording all of this stuff.
Bless all the poor, bless all the meek. If you listen to the shepherd, then you bless you the sheep. You the children of the Father if you live a life of peace. If you pure in your heart, then the Father you gon' see. Are you blessed if they persecute you for righteous deeds? Isaiah 5:20 in this world you gon' see. They gon' say you in the court, the devil mad he lost me. Y'all be blessed, they speak evil on our names falsely. Set a man against his son, cause his truth bring division. He ain't open up his eyes, it's the truth, this division. Preach the gospel to the world, Christ the truth, this the mission. Cast your man into the sea, we salute if you fishing. Set a man against his son. Isaiah 53, y'all look what we done done. Luke 19 verse 27 when he come. He coming in the power of his Father when he come. He coming in the power of his Father, you can't run. We gon' be the light in this world full of darkness. Proverbs out this 6:23, they can't stop it. Get into this true straight fact, we gon' rock these laws on our conscience. Let your light shine, we gon' glorify the Father. The devil making war with the saints, get harder. He overcame the world, give him praise, give him honor. They could get his flesh, but his soul they can't bother. They go out of pay, try and do away with Torah. They playing us to sing, y'all be all out of order. Recompense coming, y'all the Father gon' restore ya. Isaiah 43 for his sons and his daughter. Romans chapter 7 verse 12 to these churches. If we break the laws, we gon' stay under these curses. Look up in your city, all the Israelites is hurting. Don't know who we are, we gon' understand our purpose. Who gon' rise up, tell these people who they are? Who gon' tell these people they the children of Yah? Yeah, I am Father, I'll wait on your call. I'll say yes, I'll say yes, yeah, yes, to your will and to your way. I'll say yes, yeah.
Good morning. Facebook Live, good morning. Breaking Strongholds Ministries, good morning. YouTube with Orlando, keeping it simple. How you all doing this morning? Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. I hope everyone's day has been a great day. I hope everybody's week has been great. I hope the Most High really truly blessed you over and abundantly with the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I hope the Most High really truly have blessed your offsprings with protection and healing and understanding. I hope the Most High really truly have blessed you over and abundantly with love, kindness, and joy. You know, every week I come out and say a lot of stuff going on this week. And really, truly, it is got a lot going on. You know. I hope you all are really, truly paying attention to it. But let me go ahead and get started because it's a lot. It's not a lot I want to talk about, but all of it's going to correlate or go together. So let me go ahead and get started on Exodus chapter 20 verses 1 through 17. And it reads, And El spake all these words, saying, I am Yahuwah thy El, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. And thou shalt have no other Els before me, and thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, Yahuwah thy El, am a angry El, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me, and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahuwah thy El in vain, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy works. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah thy El. In it thou shalt not do any works, thou nor thy sons, nor thy daughter, thy manservants, nor thy maidservants, nor thy cattle, nor thy strangers that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore Yahuwah blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it, purified it. Honor thy fathers and thy mothers, that thy days be long upon the land which Yahuwah thy El giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbors, and thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservants, nor his maidservants, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. And let us pray. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us of our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine to your kingdom, power to your glory, forever and ever. So let it be. Amen, amen, amen. Like I say, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. If you could turn the book of Yahuwah, the Biblio, the Bible, to Deuteronomy chapter 31. Deuteronomy chapter 31. Deuteronomy chapter 31. Verses 1 through 8. Deuteronomy chapter 31. Verses 1 through 8. Deuteronomy chapter 31, verses 1 through 8, and the key verse is verse 5. Key verse is verse 5. No, it's verse 3, I'm sorry. It's verse 3. It's verse 3, not verse 5, it's verse 3. The key verse is verse 3. It's verse 3. Okay? And the key verse reads, just one second. Let me do something. And the key verse reads, Yahuwah thy El, he will go over before thee, and he will destroy these nations from before thee, and thou shalt possess them. And Joshua he shall go over before thee, as Yahuwah has said. Let me repeat that over again. It says, and Yahuwah thy El, he will go over before thee, and he will destroy these nations from before thee. And thou shalt possess them. Who? Those nations. And Joshua, he shall go over before thee, as Yahuwah has said. If I may give a title to text today, the title of the text today is, Fear not, I am with you. Fear not, I am with you. We all know the definition of the word fear, but I'm going to tell it to you again because I have taught on the word fear several different times. The definition of the word fear is a painful emotion or passion excited by an expectation. Understand that an expectation, that's the most important word of the definition. An expectation of evil, or the comprehension of an impending danger. Fear is a state of being afraid. It's a mindset of being afraid. Uneasiness caused by danger. Okay. 3 things that causes fear. Common fear triggers. Darkness or loss of visibility of surroundings. What causes fear is height and flying. What causes fear is social interaction or rejections. What causes fear is snakes, rodents, spiders, and other animals. What causes fear is death or dying. Okay?
Can you repeat?
What causes fear is...
Darkness and what?
What causes fear is... what causes fear, some common triggers of what causes fear. And I'm going to add one in there. What causes fear is darkness or loss of vision or visibility. visibility of surroundings. What causes fear is people are afraid of heights or flying. What causes fear is social interactions or rejections. What causes fear is snakes, rodents, spiders, and other animals. What causes fear is death and dying. And the key one is what causes fear is not knowing the future. That is the number one cause of fear. Not knowing. Because it says the definition of fear is a painful emotional passion exercised by an expectation of evil or apprehension of an impending danger. Expectation of something means there's something in the future that may or may not happen. So people are afraid of not knowing the future. That's why people are interacting. That's why they have a state of fear so much, is because they don't understand. They don't know the future. If they knew the future, they'd be more comfortable in their lifespan. But because they don't know their future, that's why they have such a fear in life. Okay? And both of these are 14th century words. Courage, courage, courage. Courage means danger. Courage means that the quality of mind. Listen to this. Quality of mind. It means which enables men. Let me do something real fast. Okay. It says bravery. Bravery is that courage is the quality of mind which enables or pushes men to encounter danger and difficulties with firmness or without fear or depression of spirit. Courage is valor, boldness, resolutions. It is a constituent part of fortitude. It is the foundation of your fortitude, of who you are as a person. But fortitude implies patience to bear continued suffering. Quality of mind which pushes one to meet danger and trouble without fear. Courage overcomes fear. Courage make you look past fear. Courage make you do things that you didn't think you could be able to do. It says courage is the quality of mind which enables one to meet danger and trouble without fear. Okay? So this is an encouraging word today, but I also want us to understand Isaiah 45:7. I want us to put this in the back of our minds and as we go forward. What's wrong?
Somebody said something. Go ahead.
Isaiah 45:7. And it reads, I formed the light and created darkness. I make peace and created evil. I, Yahuwah, do all these things. I, Yahuwah, do all these things. Okay? So, when you're looking at this, let us go back to Deuteronomy 31. When you go, let us look back to 31, Deuteronomy chapter 31. I'm going to say this. Nobody truly understands, or nobody truly knows the behind the scenes conversations. Nobody knows the behind the scenes conversations. It's like when we look at chapter 31 in Deuteronomy, the Most High was not dealing with the whole congregation of the children of Israel. The Most High was only dealing with the leadership of the children of Israel. He was not dealing with the whole congregation of the children of Israel. So the children of Israel would not know the conversation that Moshe and Yahuwah was having behind the scenes. They would never know what was actually being said between Moses and Moshe because they was not in the meeting with them. They was only able to understand what was being spoken to, what was being made known to them by what Moses said to them. And Moses got the information from the Most High. So they never understood the conversation. It's just like when you go to Job 1, right? When you go to Job 1, when you go to Job 1, and when you look at Job 1, you go down to verse 6. And it says, and now there was a day when the sons of El came to present themselves before Yahuwah, and Satan came also among them. And Yahuwah said unto Satan, whence come thou? Then Satan answered Yahuwah and said, from going to and fro in the land, and from walking up and down in it. And Yahuwah said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that is feared God and eschew evil. Then Satan answered Yahuwah and said, do Job fear El for naught? Then when you go down to verse 12, it says, and Yahuwah said unto Satan, behold, all that he has is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thy hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of Yahuwah. Okay, the reason why I'm bringing that up is because Job did not know that the Most High had allowed Satan to come against him. The only ones who knew what was actually taking place in the situation, it was the Most High, the angels, and the Hashatan. So because the angels, the Hashatan, and El only knew the conversation, when Job experienced what he experienced, he never knew that it was some backdoor conversations behind the scenes. Job never knew that. He only knew what he was going through, but he did not know the conversations that was had behind the scenes. Job did not know that El was trying to show the Hashatan that Job was a faithful servant. And Job did not know that the Hashatan of Satan was trying to prove to God that Job wasn't. Job only knew his experience. He only knew what he was going through. So when you're looking at the book of Deuteronomy, and when you're looking at everything that goes on behind in life, we never know what's going on behind the scenes. We never know that the Most High is testing all of us.
Yes.
We never know that. We only know our experience. We only know our testimonies. So because we know our testimonies, we know that El exists, but we never know that El might have told the Hashatan, go attack her and test her and try her to see where she's at. We never know that. We only know what we're doing or what we're going through, but we never know exactly what is truly behind the scenes.
Wow. All right.
So when you're looking at the story of the book of Deuteronomy and Exodus and Numbers and Leviticus and Genesis, we never know the conversations that the Most High is having with the leaders. We only know what the leaders are telling us, but we never know what the Most High is speaking to the leaders until the leaders come to us and tell us what's actually what the Most High have said. And then it's up to us to believe it and take heed to what the leaders have said. But if we don't take heed to what the leaders have said, that means that we just don't believe in the leaders, we don't believe in El. So now it's just like when Moses was talking to the children of Israel. Moses was talking to the children of Israel because of what the Most High had said to him to tell them. But you got to look at the mindset of the children of Israel at the time of them going through all this experiences, all this stuff that they went through in life. Yes, you can't imagine this, and I want you to understand this, but our mindset is different. Could you imagine being enslaved for 230 years? You've been enslaved for 230 years of whack, and hearing these whips going across your back, and you just going through all this stuff, and you going through all this stuff, and you seeing people get hung, killed, and all this stuff for 230 years. Generations of people dying every day. Then all of a sudden, 6 months later, you're free. And you're walking out of the place that you was enslaved for 230 years. Could you understand the mindset of those people who was coming out of that situation? It's just like, even more in realistic terms, when Hebrew people or black people was enslaved in America, and they had the Civil War. And most people say that the Civil War was not about slavery, but let me read you something. I'm going to read you something out of the Bill of Rights Institute. Okay. It says, it would be foolish to claim that the Civil War had little to do with slavery. In many ways, slavery was the fundamental difference between North and South, and many sectional divisions were at least partially rooted in the presence of slavery in the South and an expansion elsewhere. Yet slavery itself did not cause the Civil War. After all, slavery was a national, not Southern, but national institution until the early 19th century. The founders had been able to form a nation despite differences over slavery. In fact, the growth of New England textile industry owned much of the profitability of plantation cottons grown in this. Listen to that. The New England textile industry owned much to the profitabilities of plantation cotton grown in the South. Moreover, if the Civil War was fought over slavery, why did Abraham and the majority of the Union policy makers drag their feet until 1862 when it came to striking at the particular institution? Why indeed were white politicians able to reach a series of compromises over slavery and its expansion westward for the first 7 decades of the new republic before that process collapsed in 1850? So when our people was going through slavery for such a long time, and after the Civil War, and the North and the South lost and the North won, now yesterday you was free, you was a slave. Now today you are free. What do you think the mindset of the people will be like? Yesterday you was a slave, today you're free. and you've been enslaved all your life and you're 50 years old. You've been a slave all your life for 50 years old, and somebody came to you the following day and said, you're now free because the North just defeated the South. How would your mindset be? How would you be as a person? Understanding that the Most High just made the North and South fight over your freedom. What would your mindset be? How would you feel? And most of the slaves said, and when the people came to him, most of the people, the slaves, they said, you're free now. They said, when he coming? When free coming? Where freedom at? What do you mean we free? They didn't understand the concept of being free because they've been in bondage, enslaved for all their life. So now, could you imagine when they was in Egypt for 230 years and they got out of slavery? Their mindset, could you imagine? Could you imagine in slavery when the slaves were set free? What was their mindset? Because right now we're at the same point. We're at the same scenario. Getting ready to be free and getting ready to go into the promised land, but our mindset is still stuck in Egypt. Go to Deuteronomy 29. Go to Deuteronomy 29 and 4, 5, and 6. Because we have to look at the mindset of the people before we can be able to, because what we only see things from the physical and not from the spiritual. A lot of people only see things from the physical and not from the spiritual. Deuteronomy chapter 29 verse 4, 5, and 6, it says, yet Yahuwah has not given you a heart to perceive, and eyes to see, and ears to hear unto this day. He said you was not able to understand everything that was going on until this very moment. He said, I did all the things that I did until this very moment. And then it says, I have led you 40 years in the wilderness. Your clothes are not waxing old upon you, and thy shoes is not waxing old upon thy feet. Ye have not eaten bread, neither ye drink wine nor strong drink, that ye might not know that I am Yahuwah thy El. He said, I took care of you in the moment of your destitute, your destruction. I took care of you in all these moments. He said, but you did not understand it because you only saw Moses and you did not see me. And see, a lot of us at this point in time in life, we see things from the physical viewpoint. We doesn't see things from the spiritual viewpoint. We don't see that the Most High is behind the scenes, shaking and moving and doing things for our benefit. A lot of us don't even see that we are in captivity at this very moment. We are serving our enemy. A lot of us don't have that mindset because we have some sorts of freedom. Because we have some, excuse me, because we have some sorts of freedom, we don't look at us as being slaves. But on some plantations, the slave owners allowed their slaves to go sell products and make money and to be able to buy themselves out of slavery. But they knew they was enslaved. But they still had an opportunity to go work and make money for themselves. But a lot of us don't see ourselves in bondage because we have similar freedoms that the slaves had. Because we're only looking at it from the physical and not from the spiritual. So when we look at the Exodus story and when we look at the slave story, we also got to understand that it had to be chaos and commotion prior to the Exodus. It always has to be chaos and commotion prior to the Exodus. And during the Exodus out of Egypt in the Old Covenant, it was the 10 plagues and death that was upon the land. That happened in Egypt. During slavery, civil war, it was death and chaos upon the land. That would happen right before the Civil War. And the freedom of, that was right before the emancipation, quote unquote, the Emancipation Proclamation. We have to understand that it's got to be chaos and commotion prior to the Exodus. It's got to be chaos and commotion right before the deliverance. See, because a lot of us are discombobulated right now because of something like this right here. In the Charlotte Observer, this came out this morning, November 4, 2023. Beyond frustration, Bank of America, Trust, and other major banks warn of deposit delays. Warns of deposit delays. Warns of deposit delays. Many bank customers across the U.S. are dealing with deposit delays because of an error with a banking processing system on Friday. The delays were still impacting people on Saturday too. The Federal Reserve released an alert about the problem coming from an electronic payment network, a financial system associated with the Automatic Clearing House, a national processor of transaction. Bank of America alerted its customers about the deposit being delayed because of the problems impacting it and other major banks. So did the U.S. Bank Customs said. See, a lot of us are discombobulated because we have banking issues. And we're going to continue to have banking issues because what the banking system have done to the people. See, the Most High is getting ready to destroy a lot of these systems that have oppressed its people. You got to understand that what was the major cause for redlining? It was because of the banking systems. They said that, well, we can't make much money off black people, so we'll redline them and keep them in certain sections and devalue their communities. Okay? So, also, some of us are discombobulated and confused because of what I'm getting ready to bring up in a few minutes if it ever shows up. It says that, I'm just going to click on one. The United States passed a resolution called 559. It enacted the United States government to be able to go to war with Iran. Resolution 559 enacted the United States to be able to go to war with Iran. And I'm just going to pick one. I Googled, I says, U.S. engaged war with Iran. Then one says, this comes off the CNN. Because I'm going to get to my point in just a second. CNN Politics. U.S. intelligence currently assessing Iran and its proxies are seeking to avoid a wider war with Israel. Okay, it says the U.S. intelligence community believe for now that Iran and its proxies are collaborating their responses to Israel military intervention in Gaza to avoid direct conflict with Israel or the United States, while it still is exacting costs on its adversaries. But the U.S. is also keenly aware that Iran does not maintain perfect control of its umbrella of proxies, in the particular over Lebanese Hezbollah, the largest, most incapable of the various groups. Hezbollah is an ally to Hamas, the group that attacked Israel on October the 7th, and has long possessed itself as fighting against Israel. U.S. officials are deeply concerned that the group's internal politics may cause Hezbollah to escalate seeming tensions. See, when we see all this stuff going on around us, from a physical sense, we can be very afraid because we're not looking at it from a spiritual sense. We're not asking the Most High, what are you doing in this moment? What are you doing in this moment? What are you doing in this moment? But I want you to, what I want to be able to tell you today is that, fear not. Because Yahuwah is with us. Because before any deliverance, there's always conflicts, problems, and issues. Before any deliverance, any salvation, is always conflict, problems, and issues. That's why I brought these issues up. That's why I tried to compare it to the slavery. That's why I brought it back to the Egypt. It's always been right before deliverance for the children of Israel. It has always been these situations on the earth. But this is a reassuring message. Let's go to 31. Let's go to 31. And 1, it says, and Moses went, Deuteronomy 31. Deuteronomy 31. And 1, it says, and Moses went and spake these words unto all Israel. See, the leadership talks to the Most High, not the whole congregation. The whole congregation gets the information from the leadership. Okay? Because you don't need to be behind the closed doors in the meeting. Only the leadership needs to be behind the closed doors in the meeting. Okay, it says, and Moses went and spake all these words unto all Israel, and he said unto them, I am 120 years old at this day, and I can no more go out and come in. Also, Yahuwah has said to me, thou shalt not go over this Jordan. So Moses' leadership stopped at the river of Jordan. It stopped at the land, at the Red Sea. And see, we got to understand now, our old leadership, the way the old church used to teach us how to understand the Most High, it has ended. All the old leadership, or the way the church used to be long time ago, it has ended. The Most High has raised up a new form of leadership. He has raised up a new form of leadership, in which are Joshua's. Joshua was on the scene now because the old leadership is done away with. They got you as far as they can get you, but they can't take you no farther because their way of teaching you have misled you. Now, Joshua's are on the scene. Joshua's are on the four corners. Joshua's are on YouTube. Joshua's are on Facebook. Joshua's on TikTok. I am on there now. All the new leadership is on the scene. Because where they took you, the old leadership can only take you so far. They only could take you so far. Now, in order for us to get to that promised land, the new leadership got to come in and to be able to control, and not control, but to be able to teach you the ways of Yahuwah. Because that's what Moses said. He said unto them, I am 120 years old this day. I can no more go out and come in. Also, Yahuwah has said to me, thou shalt not go over this Jordan. Old leadership know their time is up, but they still trying to hold on. But it's over with. Nobody is listening to old leadership no more. No, old leadership is non-involved. There's no need for them to try to even continue to preach because there's nobody listening to them. They have expired. Their ways of teaching have expired. It does not have any fruit. It does not give life. But then it says in verse 3, Yahuwah Da'el, he will go before thee. Listen to this. Listen to that. Yahuwah Da'el, he will go before thee. And he will destroy these nations from before thee. Listen to that. Listen to that. Russia and Ukraine is fighting. And everybody in the Middle East is fighting. But none of the African countries are fighting over in Russia. None of the African countries are fighting over in the Middle East. The same people are fighting over there in Russia and Ukraine, and the same people are fighting over there in the Middle East. And we're here seeing all this destruction because Yahuwah has went before us to deal with those nations of people. It says, and thou shalt possess them, in Joshua, the new leadership, he shall go over before thee as Yahuwah has said. But I want to deal with, he will go over before thee. Yahuwah. What do you mean by he will go over before thee? Let us go to Genesis chapter 48. What do you mean by go over before thee? Genesis 48 and 21. What do you mean by that? It means that, listen to this, in Genesis chapter 48 verse 29, it says, and Israel said unto Joshua, before I die, but El shall be with you, and bring you again unto the land of your fathers. Moreover, I have given to thee one portion above thy brethren, which I took out of the hands of the Amorites, and with the sword and with my bow. What it means by, let us go to Deuteronomy. I'm going to get to it in a minute. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 29. It says, but Deuteronomy chapter 9 verse 3. Because we're dealing with, I will go over before thee. Okay? Deuteronomy chapter 9 verse 3, it says, understand therefore this day that Yahuwah thy heir is he which goeth over before thee. Listen to this. As a consuming fire, he shall destroy them. He shall bring them down before thy face. Now, what we see going on in the Middle East, we don't see nothing but a whole bunch of nations getting ready to come against each other and fight and kill each other. What we see over in Russia and Ukraine, only thing we see over in Russia and Ukraine is a whole bunch of chaos, commotion, fussing and fighting and killing. Okay, and it says, so shall thou drive them out and destroy them quickly, as Yahuwah has said unto thee. Okay? Now let us go to Psalms 146. And I'm finna tell you what he mean by that. I'm finna tell you, but I want you to understand. He said, I will go over as a consuming fire. I will go over as a sword. That's in Genesis 48. Genesis 48 and 21, it says, what again? 48 and 21, he says, and Israel said unto Joshua, behold, I die, but God shall be with thee, and bring you again unto your land and your father. Moreover, he had given thee one portion above thy brothers, which I took out of the hand of an Amorite with the sword. He gonna be like a consuming fire. Psalms 146. Three through 6. This one is something else. Yeah. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. What the word I will go before thee means that I will make a way. If I got to make a way with the sword, I will make a way with the sword. If I got to make a way with the consuming of fire, I will make a way with the consuming of fire. The word I will go before thee means the Most High is going to make a way for whatever you got before you. He's going to clear the land. He's going to clear the path so that you could be able to do whatever you got to do. In Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 23, it says, Yahuwah thy heir is a consuming fire, even a angry ale. See, what we see going on over there in Israel right now is the Most High is clearing the land. He's clearing the land. He's making a way for us to be able to have the things that we need to have. Okay, and then it says, verse 3 again, it says, Yahuwah thy heir, he will go before thee, and he will destroy these nations. How will he destroy these nations? He using nations against nations. That's how he's going to destroy these people. And thou shalt possess them, and Joshua, he said, he shall go over before thee, as Yahuwah has said. What we see in Yahuwah's work at hand. That's why we should not have any fear right now, because of what we see. What we see is actually not what we see. Because what we see, we're looking at it from a physical realm and not from a spiritual realm. Because if we looked at it from a spiritual realm, we'll understand that every nation and every people will reap what they have sown. That's why last week I said the changing of authority is here, is because you got to understand that the Arab nations enslaved the Hebrew people for over 1,300 years. You got to understand that. You also got to understand that the G7s, they enslaved the Hebrew people for over 500 years. So you got to understand that you reap what you have sown. If you live by the sword, you die by the sword. If you lead into captivity, you shall go into captivity. So what we're seeing from the physical is not actually what we're seeing, what it is from the spiritual. That's something that we got to understand. That is the reason why we should not have fear right now, because of what it is actually taking place from the physical realm, from the spiritual realm, and not the physical realm. You can't get them mixed up, because if you get them mixed up, you will be afraid. Yes, you will not understand certain things. Yes, you will be discombobulated. Yes, you will be confused. Yes, you will be walking around. What you mean by we free? Yes, you mean you'll be walking around saying, we're going into the wilderness? What you mean? Because you're looking at things from a physical. You'll be saying, man, this is happening over there. You won't be looking at judgment. You'll be looking at, man, this is happening to me. But no, this is actually judgment to those nations of people who have done wrong on the earth. And that is something we got to truly understand. When we start to see destruction and people destroying themselves, and we look at their history, we're like, oh, okay, this is what happened to them. This is the reason why this is happening. This is the reason why that happened. This is the reason why that happened. Do you understand how the banking system came about? Do you understand how the banking system makes its money? Do you understand how the banking system makes its money? So let us go to verse 4 in Deuteronomy chapter 31. And it reads, and Yahuwah shall do unto them. Listen to this. Listen, this is what I'm talking about. Listen to this. And Yahuwah shall do unto them as he did to Cheyenne and to God, king of the Amorites, unto the land of them, who he destroyed. And Yahuwah shall give them up before your face, that ye may do unto them according unto all the commandments which I have commanded you. See, right now what the Most High is allowing them to do is destroy themselves because of what they did to other nations of people. That is something that we truly got to understand. That is something that we truly got to understand. This is not a time for us to be afraid. Because when you're afraid of something, it causes you not to be who you're supposed to be. When you're afraid of something, it causes you to be stagnant. It causes you not to walk in who you are as a person. What your divine purpose is. When you're afraid, it causes you to be stuck like a deer in headlights. But you also got to understand in verse 4, it says, and Yahuwah shall do unto them as he did to Cheyenne and to God, kings of the Amorites, unto the land of them whom he destroyed. and Yahuwah shall give them up before your face. We're seeing that Yahuwah is giving these nations up right before our face. What do you mean by give up? What do you mean by give up? That means to put or to make avenge or an assign. To give up means to make an assignment. They got an assignment that they got to do. Unconsciously, they don't know. Consciously, they don't know what they're doing. But subconsciously, they know that they're at war. Consciously, they know they're at war, but subconsciously, they don't know why they're at war. They think that they may be at war because of what they see physical. But spiritually, you're at war because of what you did to the children of Israel. When you look at that, and he says, "Shall give them up before your face," that the Most High is going to make an avenge on them because of what they did. So when you seeing this destruction on the land, see on the continent of Africa, you see that Africans are kicking France, Germany, the U.S., all these European countries out of Africa because of what they have did to Africa with the birth from the Berlin Conference. And also, you got to understand, there's going to be some major issues that happen here on this land because what this people had done on here. See, the only way lands can be cleansed is the land to be cleansed. Is the people who did the killing had to be deleted as well. So it says again in verse 5 that Yahuwah shall give them up before your face, avenge them before your face, that ye may do unto them according unto all the commandments which Yahuwah has commanded you. Okay? See, right now, what we see in Yahuwah is doing, he's making a way for our place. He's destroying every stronghold that is in front of us. And we don't even see it. Because we're looking at it from a physical realm and not from a spiritual realm. That's why we got to ask ourselves, what are you doing, Yahuwah? What are you doing, Yahuwah? Because if we don't ask Yahuwah what you're doing, we'll be afraid. We'll be afraid. We'll be fearful. We'll be scared because we're seeing all this stuff going on around us. But we're still afraid. But you got to remember that the children of Israel was in Goshen while Egypt was being destroyed. The children of Israel was in a safe place in Goshen while Egypt was being destroyed. Let us go to Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 23 and 23 through 25. Yes, we see the destruction, but that destruction ain't going to come near us. Because the Most High got to deal with these people the way that they dealt with other nations of people. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 23 through 25. It says, "But Yahuwah thy El shall deliver them unto thee, and shall destroy them with a mighty destruction." What you see going on over there in the Middle East? What you see what's going on over there in Ukraine and Russia? They're being put out of Africa. Okay? It says, shall destroy them with a mighty destruction until they be destroyed. And he shall deliver their kings into thy hands, and thou shalt destroy their name from under heaven. And there shall no man be able to stand before thee until thou hast destroyed them. Their graven image of their God shall ye burn with fire. Thou shalt not desire the silver or gold that is on them, nor take it unto thee, lest thou be snared therein. For it is an abomination to Yahuwah thy El. See, it says in verse 24, there shall no man be able to stand before thee until thou hast destroyed them. Verse 25, the graven image of their El shall be burned with fire. That's what we're dealing with now. The image that they have put up as Yahshua or Jesus is a false image. And everybody now is waking up saying that image is not the true image of Jesus or Yahshua. Everybody is denying that image because we know that that image is false. Because long time ago that image had power. But now that image don't have no power. That image do not have any power no more like it used to. Because everybody is waking up. Everybody is denouncing that image. Because it's a false representation. Let us go to Exodus chapter 34. Verses 12 through 16. It says, take heed to thyself, lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land whither thou goest, lest it be for a snare in the midst of thee. But ye shall destroy their altars, break their image, and cut down their groves. That's what we are doing right now. Everything that we've been taught about the Bible, we're breaking it down and destroying it because we know now that it is a lie. We know that everything that they teach us now is a lie. Everybody is upset now because of what's going on there in the Far East. Everybody been doing their research and everybody is upset because they know that it's a lie. Verse 14, and thou shalt worship no other else, for Yahuwah, whose name is angry, is a angry El. This is what he said, the name of Yahuwah. For Yahuwah, whose name is angry, is a angry El. Lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and they go a whoring after their El, and do sacrifice unto their Els, and one call thee, and thou eat of his sacrifice. And thou take of their daughters unto thy sons, and their daughters go a whoring after their gods, and make their sons thy sons go a whoring after their gods. See, right now what the Most High is doing, and if you can't look at it from a spiritual sense, you'll never understand it. Everything that was raised up is being torn down. The money is being torn down. The nations are being torn down. The religions are being torn down. Everything on the earth, their medicines are being torn down. Everything about people who used to rule the world, all their powers are being torn down right before our eyes. But if we only look at it from a physical, we can't see it. Because the Most High never wanted us to work the way we're working as a lifestyle. The Most High never wanted us to be the way it is now. We should never have to pay for a piece of property. We should never be enslaved to pay property taxes for the rest of our life on a piece of property that the Most High have gave us. We should never be paying for food. This is something that the Most High gave us freely. So that means that we should give freely. But here we are paying for this stuff. We're paying for water that comes out of the earth that the Most High gave us. Why? Because they polluted the water. Everything that we're paying for is what the Most High gave us, and He gave it to us freely. But these nations of people have caused us to become their slaves because they have took the Most High's stuff and made it theirs, and you making us pay for what the Most High has given us. We shouldn't have to have a driving license. We don't have to have one, but we should not. They should not be trying to enforce giving us to make us take a driving license to be able to drive on the roads that the Most High gave us. We're paying for medicine. We should have to pay for that. It's freely grown in the earth. So what you see on the earth is the Most High destroying all their systems. Everything about him, He's destroying it. That's why we should not have no fear. But we can't look at things from the physical. We got to look at things from the spiritual. Nahum 1 and 2. It says, El is jealous, angry, and Yahuwah revengeth. Yahuwah revenge and furious, and is furious. Yahuwah will take vengeance on his adversaries, and He reserve wrath for His enemies. Listen to this. Let me read it over. El is angry. Yahuwah revenges. Yahuwah revenges and is furious. Yahuwah will take vengeance on His adversaries. He reserveth wrath for His enemies. See, when you go against the Most High's law, statutes, commandments, you put people in incarceration, you do all these things to Yahuwah's people, He don't have no empathy for you. He don't have any empathy, nor sympathy. Let us go back to Deuteronomy 31. Verses 6, 7, and 8. But this is what I want you to understand. Even when you're seeing all the destruction on the earth, even though you're seeing all this stuff, you got to first understand this is for your deliverance. But you also got to understand this is for you. He says, when you see all this stuff, be strong, of a good courage. Fear not, nor be afraid of them. For Yahuwah thy El, He it is that doeth go with thee. See, this is an encouraging message. He's telling you, do not be afraid at this very moment because of what you think you see. What you think you see is not what you actually see. He is that doeth go with thee. He is not fail thee, nor forsaken thee. And Moses called unto Joshua and said unto him, in the sight of all Israel, be strong and of good courage, for thou must go with this people unto the land which Yahuwah has sworn unto their fathers to give them, and thou shalt cause them to inherit it. And Yahuwah, He it is that doeth go before thee. He will be with thee. He will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. Fear not, nor be dismayed. Listen to verse 8. I want you to understand something. Listen to verse 8. Listen to it and listen to it good. It says, you and Yahuwah, he it is that doeth go before thee. What you seeing now, he making a way for us right now. That's why this is an encouraging message. When you look at it from a spiritual sense, this is very encouraging because right now the Most High is making a way for us. He's clearing the land. He's clearing the trees. He's clearing the problems out of the way. Listen to that. He's making a way for you. Then the second it says, he will be with you. Right? Even when he's making that way for you, he's going to be with you in the midst of everything that is going on right now during this time. That's why we should not be afraid, because we're seeing things happen. It's not actually what we're seeing. We're seeing the Most High make a way for us in the midst of this. Then he says, he will not fail thee. This is encouraging. This is reassuring to you. This is what he's going to do for you in this moment that you're looking at this thing on the earth. He will not fail you. He said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. So right now at this moment, which even though you see all these things going on the earth, it's actually not what you see. He's making a path for you. He's making a way for you. He's trying to give you security. He's trying to reassure you that his word will not go out and come back void. Then he says, neither forsake thee. He said he will not fail you. He said I will not fail you and I will not forsake you. Fear not, neither be dismayed. Don't be scared. I got your back. I'm with you. Just keep doing what you're doing. I got you. Because fear causes a whole lot of issues within yourself. Fear causes high blood pressure, anxiety, depression, and all this other stuff that messes up the body. Okay, let us go to Genesis chapter 15. And I'm about to finish. Because sometimes when we go to things, we're looking at things from the physical, we get discombobulated, we get afraid, and we go to doing things we know we shouldn't do it, and we just go to acting chaotic. We just cause this mess and problems when we be afraid. We cause this anxiety. We do things we know we shouldn't do, but we only do them because we're afraid. It says in Genesis chapter 15 verse 1, and I want you to understand something. Listen to these words. Because the title of the text, it says, fear not, I am with you. Listen to verse 1 in Genesis 15. After these things, the word of Yahuwah came unto Abram in a vision, saying, fear not, Abram, I am thy shield, and thy exceeding great reward. And Abram said Yahuwah, what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless? And the stewards of my house is Eleazar of Damascus. But the Most High blessed Abraham. Don't think if he didn't do it for them, he won't do it for you. He won't clear out a path for you. He won't make a way for you. He won't open up doors for you. And sometimes we got to go through that motion. We got to go through that. Even though we think what we see, even though we see destruction, destruction is not destruction. It's just like when somebody building a new building homes on a land, they first got to clear the land. They got to take down the trees. They got to clean the land. They got to make the land level. And then once they clear the land out and they clean the trees out the land, they make the land level, that's when they can start building on the land. See, that's what we got. That's what the Most High is doing. He's clearing out the land. He's destroying it, then he's going to clear it out so we can start building on it. Let's go to Joshua 1 and 5. Listen to this. That's why we got to be courageous right now and have courage. It says the Most High going to be our shield. Joshua 1 and 5, it says, "There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life." Why would he give Joshua that promise and wouldn't give you that promise? Listen to that again. "There shall not be any man able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. As I was with Moses, so will I be with thee. So will I be with you." Whoever is listening to me, if he was with Moses, if he was with Joshua, why won't he be with you?
Yes. Ooh.
"I will not fail thee nor forsake thee. Be strong and of good courage. For unto this people shall thou divide for an inheritance the land which I swore unto their fathers to give them." See, what we're going through is a promise.
Yes. Ooh.
We're going through a promise. But in order to keep the promise, he got to clean the land. He got to clear. He got to get the debris out the way. And these other nations are debris that got to be cleared out of the way. Let us go to 1 Samuel chapter 17. Verses 45 through 47. Understand something. You got to be encouraged at this moment. You got to be courageous. Because what you think you see is not what you see. It says, "Then said David to the Philistines, Thou comest to me with a sword and with a spear and with the shield, but I come to thee in the name of Yahuwah of hosts." Listen to what David said and listen to it again. Let me read it. Listen. "Then said David to the Philistines, Thou comest to me with a sword and with a spear and with a shield." You coming to me with the physical weapons. You coming to me with the physical stuff. But I come to thee in the name of Yahuwah. But I come to you in my El. I come to you in the name of my El, who created the sword, the spear, and the shield. I come to the person who made that stuff.
Ooh, that's powerful right there.
"The El of my armies of Israel, whom thou hast defiled." He said, you defiled my El. You defiled my God. I'm coming in his name to fight against you. So if you coming in the Father's name to fight against your enemy, don't you think that he's going to be with you in that moment in time? Don't you think he's going to be with you? Don't you think he's going to be wherever he needs to be at the time that you need to be able to defeat the enemies that's coming against you? Verse 46, "This day will Yahuwah deliver thee into my hands." He says, this is the day that he's going to put you in my hands. "And I will smite thee and take thy head from thee. And I will give the carcass of the host of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air, to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a El in Israel. See, what you do right now is very important. What you do right now is very important. The reason why I say that, because if you're going to fight with the physical, you're going to lose. When you fight with the Most High on your side, and you do things from the Most High viewpoint, from the Most High laws, statutes, and commandments, the way the Most High got you to do it, what it says, that all the earth may know that there is a El in Israel. You will let everybody know that your El, your God, will defeat any army on the earth. Then it says, all this assembly shall know that Yahuwah saved not with sword and spear, for the battle is Yahuwah, and he will give you into our hands. See, you just got to go through the process. You just got to show up and do it in Yahuwah's name, and he'll take care of the rest. But if you don't, you're going to lose. Don't go to it in a physical way. Last one, Romans 11 and 8. 11 and 31. Romans 8 and 31. Go ahead and start playing the song, Sharon. Romans 8 and 31. What shall we then say to these things? If El be for us, who can be against us? Listen to this song. If El, what shall we say? What shall we say then to these things? If El be with us, who can be against us?
Sweet love, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home. Swing low.
They know this day was coming. They knew that they were going. Somebody was going to experience this moment. It might not have came in their day and time, but they knew this day was coming. Listen to it. They knew this moment was here. They wasn't afraid. They was encouraged. They understood this is a for sure message. They was encouraging each other, even in the midst of hard times, even in the midst of slavery. They knew this moment was going to be here. even in the midst of them going through slavery on them plantation fields, picking that cotton, they were still singing those songs. Swing low, swing chariot. Because they did not fear. Because they know that Yahuwah was with them even in the midst of everything that was going on the earth. They know that Yahuwah was with them. They may not have saw what they wanted to see, but they, in the midst of everything that they were going through, they knew Yahuwah was there. So whenever we see all this stuff going on in the midst of the earth,